So we've got a little bit of time. Just first of all, if there are any questions from people watching that want to post something in the chat for any of the panelists, please do so. But we'll go back to Gordon, who was saying earlier. So he's in a place of life where he's looking at the P&L, not to mean profit and loss, but purpose and legacy. And so he's trying to build a business that creates something for others. So what's the view? We'll kind of go around then and see, what do people think about that now with the businesses and the activities that they're involved in? Is that more of a consideration? Chris, as you're right here, what's your thought on that?
I think that there are a lot of business books and new thinking where like every business has to have some kind of start with your why or what's your mission statement. And to be honest, not every business can have that. I think that your business providing a job role to someone else who can learn from you and cut their cloth with you, they might have a better why and start a revolutionary business that has more legacy and purpose than yours. I mean, we sell cables to connect TVs. There's not a lot of I'm not really changing people's lives with that, but someone might learn the basics of business from working with us or be inspired or be given an opportunity to develop their own skills, and they might go on to start a business with more purpose than mine. So I think every business has a value from that perspective, where you don't necessarily have to get too caught up on the fact, like, what's my why?
Okay, although interestingly, I think in your case, you then get involved in the local community with things like the Malvern Town Football Club and bring your expertise to try and make that work, which is again purpose and legacy.
Sure.
So you can use your business as a mechanism to be able to almost support that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, but again, it's a collateral knock-on effect of something that might not have a lot of purpose in terms of changing the world or changing people's life, but it's an enabler for you to do that externally.
Nicky, do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, purpose-wise, I wouldn't be doing what I was doing unless I thought it was actually of value to other people. Sharing information, inspiring people when we can't go out and visit people and network or meet people. Sharing information is hugely important. I learn so much every day from the stories we run and the linking up of those stories to other people. So yes, I think I wouldn't get up in the morning, come and sit in my office from the kitchen over there and sit here for 8 hours a day unless I thought actually there is a value to what we're doing. We're not earning much money from it at the moment, but that will come back, that's fine. But there is a value to what we're doing in creating a community. As opposed to a legacy, I'm not sure really. Ask me that next year.
Okay, I will. Claire, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, for me, in my projects, creating a differentiated narrative of why us, why do you choose us, and what do we care about, is really important. And even if it's not in the product that we sell, I think you can tell a purposeful story in who you hire, for example. Like in my landscaping company, I hired predominantly lesbian women because they weren't being hired by other companies. And we became known as like the company that hires women and that hires people who are differentiated from the industry. And like that was part of our purpose. It was not our product, but it was part of our purpose. And so I think that became part of how we were perceived. And then I think it is really important to think about legacy now. And I think we have to think about it because young people want to work for companies that are delivering to their value systems. And so now there's like a lot of talk around values and purpose and legacy and what do I want to be part of? And that's I think that's critical to capturing the much needed talent.
When you're an entrepreneur, what is the value of having someone that you can work with as a co-founder, and how important has that been in the various ventures you've been involved with, as opposed to going out as a solopreneur? So I just wonder, again, we'll get you, Chris, because you mentioned your early business partner.
Yeah, I think that for me personally, as much as you like to think that you're sort of above average in every aspect you need to be a good businessman, because if you're an entrepreneur, you got to be good at design, you got to be good at marketing, you got to be good at figures, you got to be good at everything. That's just the reality is not every entrepreneur can be good at every single column of sort of skill set that you need. And for me, I'm not particularly good with finance figures. So in terms of like putting together the business plans and the money side of it, my wife Leanne, she's much better than me in that. She controls that side of it, and without her, I wouldn't have been able to do that. I'd have had to have sought help. So that was fantastic. And then in terms of design, as you saw from my presentation, I draw it out on a bit of paper. I can see it in my head, but I can't load Adobe and Dreamweaver or whatever it is and put it together. I need help with that. And I think that one of the things that I would urge all aspiring entrepreneurs to do is to not be too proud at an early stage to ask for help, whether it be a co-founder or someone else within their circle, because you can't do it all yourself, and often there is someone better than you at something, and the sooner you realize that and hire the people who are better than you at doing a particular thing, the faster you're going to progress and not hit so many problems.
Yeah. And Nicky, obviously you've got your business partner Kirsty, who you said was very good at sales. You're good at writing, but what about the kind of the emotional support as you go through the business growth?
I'd say that actually, I'm thinking about this. I spent 25 years pretty much working for myself. And I don't think I could really have called myself an entrepreneur when I was working for myself. But when I met Kirsty more than 10 years ago now, there was something about her personality and my personality that really hit off. We have had the most epic rows about things. But this is effectively our second business now that we've run together, and we respect each other enormously. And I think we've both grown as people. So co-entrepreneurs, I don't know. She wasn't an entrepreneur. She wouldn't have called herself an entrepreneur until she worked with me, and I wouldn't really have called myself one until I worked with her. But I think together we can be phenomenal. We really can. She sadly had to take a few months out during the COVID crisis because her mum died, which is really sad. Not a COVID, but something else, a long-standing condition. And I felt I kept the business going on my own, but I felt a fundamental part of me had faded away for a while. And she came back pretty much about 6 weeks ago now, and we are the same duo. So we are much stronger together as co-entrepreneurs than we ever were. We were good as individual, but together we can be phenomenal, and I hope we will be again.
Very interesting. Claire, any final comments from you?
Yeah, I've been a sole entrepreneur, and I tell you, it's a lot of sleepless nights because you just don't know whether you're doing the right thing or not. So it's really helpful to have a co-founder to take a temperature check. How's the team feeling? To go in and take a different approach with clients, take a different approach to problem solving. You kind of, I think having a kind of buddy system is not only good for yourselves and each other, but it allows you to play different roles with your customers or your staff or your partners, and like good cop, bad cop roles, and also parental roles, because when you're running a small company, it becomes like a family. And so if you've got a partner, when you've got to lay down some cultural lines or set forward a direction, it's great to have that backup.
Yeah, very interesting. Great. Well, thank you ever so much, everybody, for joining us late into the night. It's been really fascinating. Thoroughly enjoyed talking with you all, hearing all your stories. I know the audience, they've also been enjoying it. We've got a few thanks coming in. So thank you very much. Hopefully we'll see everybody in person next year for the next Startup Stories. And in the meantime, do join us for some of the other sessions we've got later in the week. When I press end, we all leave. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you.
Okay, take care, everybody.
Stay
Goodbye.
safe, stay healthy. Bye.
Bye-bye.